All right, welcome back. It's still Journalist Hangout on TVC News, and we're looking at trending topical issues around the Nigerian polity. Well, it's 1 day to the elections, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, has again assured Nigerians that the 2023 general elections will be conducted despite attacks on its facilities. The commission had lamented the spate of attacks by hoodlums, putting the number of affected offices in recent times at 50 across 21 states. But Inec National Commissioner and Chairman of the Committee on Voter Education and Publicity, Festus Okoye, said sensitive materials to be deployed for next year's polls were not in any of the facilities recently attacked. That's a lot of consolation and, huge relief for many Nigerians who are thinking perhaps this attack will in one way or the other jeopardize the elections. But, Jide, there are still some issues to be addressed about the elections and Inec's readiness for the polls.
Yeah, no doubt about it. These attacks have to be stopped. Having so many attacks within so short a time is not what we want to see. In the very recent past, we've had 50 attacks across 21 local governments, and we've had 7 attacks, beginning with the attack in Osun and then Ogun State. Those attacks have been followed up by 5 more attacks, all within just under 2 months. It's worrisome. No one knows exactly what these guys are planning, but it is clear that some people don't want elections to hold. I don't know what their goal is, but they don't want this election to hold. They believe that the more they attack these facilities, the more difficult it will be for Inec to conduct elections. But we are seeing clearly now that in spite of these attacks, Inec can indeed conduct elections. Inec has 176,846 beavers machines for the 2023 general election. And the good news is none of these 176,846 beavers machines are kept in any of these places that these guys are attacking. It was even good that information is out, so they will know that they are wasting their time.
It's an effort in
yes. So what they would destroy are collected PVCs in some of those places, but even those ones can be relocated to safer places. But the PVCs, they can replace PVCs. But if an arson attack happens so close to the election, it will be impossible to replace. So these attacks have to be stopped. Inec has said it is working with security agencies to stop these attacks. They've got to stop these attacks. We can't have a situation in which between May 2021 and now, we've had 40 attacks. Between May 2021
in 21 states.
Yes, 41 attacks between May 2021 and today. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. So it's just a little over. What are we even talking about? It's not even up to. These attacks have happened in less than 2 years, just 1.5 years, and we've had 41 different Inec offices attacked. We've got to
It's a worrisome trend.
Protect those offices, because you could say, okay, these are not sensitive materials being destroyed, but Inec cubicles are being destroyed in those places. And you need those cubicles on election day to guarantee some level of privacy for the person voting, because you have your own cubicle, you walk into, you go to vote, so that the person beside you may not see who you are voting for. So, and then some some generators have been destroyed.
Yeah.
It's setting us back in a way because INEC would then still ask for more money, to replace some of these things that have been destroyed. So we have to protect those facilities and put an end to the attacks.
All right, GKB, during Asiwaju Tinubu's address at the Chatham House earlier today, he also spoke on why this attack should be condemned. He actually condemned the attack on Inec facilities. Do you think political parties, especially the leading political parties, are doing enough to condemn these and perhaps warn their supporters against any act that could trigger such violence on the electoral umpire? Or is there something that the electoral umpire is doing that is making them an easy target for these political desperados?
Well, I think we've already captured that, the essence of why the attacks are being carried out. Number one is the fact that somebody somewhere does not want the election to hold. Once you come to that conclusion, it behoves on every Nigerian to condemn these attacks because this is the longest run of democratic governance we've had in our country. All the naysayers have said it will not last 8 years. In fact, a lot of professional people now running for office were begged in 1999 to come forward. But they were so sure that this will not last. Because between you and I, we know that the Constitution is basically a booby trap. For somebody who is nasty, can use that Constitution to destroy Nigeria. But so far, we've done 23 years. So I don't think anybody will want this democracy to die. Because like somebody will tell you, the worst form of democracy is better than the best form of dictatorship. Because though people say things we don't like, but we accept the fact that they have the right to say it. Because it's a democracy. Same thing should apply to INEC and their materials. Everybody, every sane Nigerian, every Nigerian who believes in democracy to condemn this act. And the security forces should go out of their way to ensure that it is the main thing they do, that people are free and unafraid to come out and vote on election day. Because that's the only time to call our people, those who are in government, to question. Once we lose that, we are not better than any banana republic.
BKO, let's look at the impact of this on the election build-up. You've mentioned some aspects of it in your previous submissions. The impact on the increase in the cost of running the elections now because Inec has to rebuild the offices. Because these offices will be very crucial in collating some of the results across the country. The cost of replacing the PVCs, and now the psyche of the electoral officers' staff, because many of them will be afraid for their life in the build-up to the elections.
Yes.
What are some of the impacts of this, beyond the fact that infrastructures are being destroyed?
The elections are supposed to be carnival-like settings. An election should be a day of joy when the voter can exercise his power through his vote to elect his leaders. But what we have is we militarize our elections, we make our elections to be characterized by violence. Even the days leading to elections, you see people killing one another, you see thugs storming campaign grounds of some political parties to disperse them and all that. We see all these things happening. Now, in terms of the intemperate language being used on social media, I've never seen an election like this one, where Nigerians are abusing one another, calling one another names, and because of an election. It's never been this bad. And I've never seen an election in which fake news has gained as much preeminence as it has gained during this electioneering season. There has never been any time like this. So you ask yourself, is it war that we are going to fight or what? What's wrong with some Nigerians? Now people are going around. You could say, IPOP has been destroying INEC facilities because IPOP does not believe an election should take place before a referendum. And you and I know that there's no place in the Nigerian Constitution for a referendum. But how do you describe what happened in Osun and Ogun State? Of course, IPOP has no presence in such places. So who went to those places to destroy INEC facilities? And whether we like it or not, it sets INEC back in terms of its preparations. They may not openly admit it, but I was speaking with one of them who said, the best thing is for these things to not continue, because there's no way it will not affect us. Yes, it's good that INEC is giving us assurances, giving us hope that, look, this will not stop the election from holding. But INEC cannot say that this will not set back its preparations. Look at, for example, I saw where they destroyed 740 ballot boxes and 240 cubicles. That was in Igboeze in Enugu State on 3rd July. 740 ballot boxes is a lot. 240 cubicles is a lot. Then they also burnt items including 340 ballot boxes and 130 voting cubicles. That is at Easy local government of Ebonyi State. So in separate attacks, look at how many ballot boxes we've lost, look at how many cubicles we've lost, and then generators, 14 electric power generators were destroyed at the same location. You need these generators on election day. So INEC now has to begin to replace these items. I saw the INEC chairman when he visited Ogun State. Oh, barely, just days after he visited that place, they set ablaze somewhere else in Imo State. So
and I mean, there are even bullets holes there to show that these are heavily harmed attacks.
Yes, of course, if they found people there, they will kill them. So I've heard the police say that they've secured INEC facilities. If you've secured them, how come these ones are still being destroyed? That means you've not fully secured those places. You need to send more men to man INEC facility. Because just as you said, if people continue to see these things happening, they are going to be scared to show up on election day, because they will think that they could be attacked on election day, especially in the southeast, where before now we've had all kinds of violent convulsions, by IPOB or non-government and all that. So you've got to secure our people, keep our people secure, keep the INEC facilities secure.
Well, GKB, before we move on to the last subject for discussion, let's wrap up with this Inec preparations. And let's talk about what should security agencies be doing to further give Inec that support they need, especially with less than 3 months to elections.
Well, in the first place, they've been doing a fantastic job. Because you're talking about 774 local governments and about 1,800 wards or whatever, a lot of wards. So they can secure as many as they can, but a determined arsonist only need a box of matches to cause havoc. So what they need to do is to ensure that whatever they do, all those areas, because there's not really like a safe area anymore. The last time you can say, okay, concentrate on the southeast. But it's not in the southwest. It's not in the south-south. There are areas in the north that they have to vote in IDP camps anyway, because they cannot go home. So we don't want that to spread to a level that we have to move our people to a camp to exercise their fundamental rights. So the police and other aspects must rev up the intelligence gathering apparatus so that they know where this thing will occur. Like I said, nowhere in the world can you secure anybody 100%. But you can get 99.9%. I'll be a happy person.
All right, of course, we're also sending our support to the Independent National Electoral Commission as they reaffirm their readiness to deliver the general elections seamlessly come 2023.